Can you please look up this site?
See if we can figure out something.
Did it work? Are you here? Are we sorted? Steve's here. Haven't seen anybody else land yet. Please tell me the portal worked because I did not copy and paste the thing that I did last time. The thing what? That thing what thing? I'm going to turn off the heart now. Don't worry. We are not sorted. Oh no. It didn't work. Damn. Okay, the heart is off. I should probably put a thumbnail because that helps. We just go with the same one for now at least. Okay. Close that one. Now, close that one. And that one. Vaughn was midway through typing. So that means it did portal you. I can close that one as well. Restart that one. Present. Share screen. Okay. Whew. We lost 12 people along the way.
All right, the next matter is entitled Jessa Marshand versus Sharon Butler. Are you Jessica Marshand or Jessa Marshand?
Yes.
And Sharon Butler is here with me at the court. Will you both please raise your right hand? You both swear or affirm any testimony you're about to give in this matter will be true to the best of your knowledge and belief.
Yes, sir.
All right, Jessa Marshand has filed a lawsuit asking for $1,845.92 as a residential lease. She says improper refund of deposit from landlord, damages to items while living in a moldy house. Ms. Butler has filed a counter complaint seeking the lawyer help you with this, which is why I can't make any sense of it. Cost to replace the carpet is $1,000. The cost to replace the refrigerator is $738.82. So your counter suing for $1,738.82 for damages caused by the defendant or the plaintiff and her boyfriend. All right, Ms. Marshand, let's start with you. You're claiming $1,845.92. Or you contend improper refund of your deposit
Yes, so
and
for the
holding. Go ahead.
deposit, I just received a personal check in the mail, no, reasoning for why I should have not been refunded all of my money. And I just felt like that was improper.
Well, she explains why it is. When you left, did you go through the inventory checklist with the Butlers?
No,
When you left, did you give your forwarding address in writing within
Yeah.
4 days of your moving?
yes,
All right, all right, I'll come to you. So you're saying under oath you did give her your forwarding address?
I sent it to her over text. And then I waited and I thought that it would be sent within time, so I thought that I was going to receive the check, and then I checked the mail for like a week and a half, and I did not receive it, so I sent her another message and she said, sorry, I forgot.
She is supposed to give you a letter. One thing triggers another. So when you move out and you turn in your inventory checklist and you give your forwarding address in writing, it triggers their response as a landlord to either return your deposit or return the deposit minus rent or other damages, and they have to give you a security deposit notice. Did you ever get any letter from her regarding why she was keeping your deposit?
No, this is all I received was this envelope with this personal check. And it is not even with a return address.
All right, how much was the deposit?
The deposit was $950 and I got a check back for $250.
With no explanation.
Absolutely none.
We talked on the phone.
I'll give you a chance to speak.
Okay.
This is her turn. You're a landlord. You're required to understand the landlord tenant rules. In fact, under some circumstances, you could be liable for treble damages, 3 times the amount of her deposit. There's a case called Havanesium versus Lamb that says the landlord is supposed to understand the rules and they're strictly to adhere to them. So far, you haven't adhered to the security deposit law. So you can't just send her a check for $250 and not tell her why you're keeping the rest of it. So we got problems right off the bat. All right, Miss Marshand, then you're also, I got pictures of a moldy coat and a skateboard and some other stuff. And then
My
the
child's,
list of-
my child's car seat carrier as well.
all right, so, and you list a price for each one of those.
Sure did.
All right, so tell me about what's the rest of your claim, 1845?
Sorry, what was that?
Well, what's the rest of the damages that you're suing for?
Just the items that were damaged, the prices on there,
Alright.
and then the
Alright.
$950 for the deposit.
All right, well, let's go through that. I've read it. I saw your
Okay.
pleadings, but you're under oath, and this is where you give your testimony.
Yeah.
All right, so
Absolutely.
what were the items?
The items were a longboard, which you could consider to be a skateboard, a riding jacket with
All right,
padding in it.
slow down. How much, and I've got this in here. How much was the longboard?
Sort through here. Longboard retail is $136.99.
All right, and what else?
The riding jacket is a motorcycle jacket that is padded for riding a motorcycle on the road. And that retails at $119.95.
All right, go ahead.
Next, I have the motorcycle helmet which retails at 79.
All right,
Next, I have our air conditioner unit that filtered out all of our air in our bedroom that we breathed in, which was $329.99.
and the car seat,
And the car seat was $229.99.
now you've given me retail price for brand new stuff and everything is used. But,
Correct.
let's add that up. 136.99 plus 119.95, 229.99 plus 79 plus 329.99. That equals 895.51.
I might have done my math wrong. Oops.
Well, or I might have. We'll check it again. All right, where were these things stored?
So obviously the air conditioner was in our bedroom. The child's car seat was actually in my child's bedroom next to her crib, and I pulled it out to use it, and I discovered that it was covered in mold. So we were living with that in our living space where we were sleeping. Everything was just kept in the house. Everything was in the house that got moldy.
Assume those are the only things that got moldy?
Yeah, I mean, that's the only thing I have record of, unfortunately. Other things we just started tossing and they weren't salvageable. Or if there was
Well,
things that were
some, for
salvageable,
example, the helmet, it would seem like you could just clean it.
the interior where you breathe in was also
I
covered
see.
in mold.
I see. So the property was in the living quarters of the unit.
Yes,
And they had mold.
yes.
All right, now,
Now,
so,
may I add that she did also have companies come out and try to remediate this mold, and they also just caused us more issues of living in the house. She had a company that came in and they used spray paint and sprayed all the cabinets and left all of our belongings in the house with the spray paint. And we came home to our animals in this house that was not even ventilated at all with spray paint. So we went through that as well. And then she had another company come out and clean all of the spray paint off of our stuff, which was another headache in itself.
how long did you live there?
I think a month over a year. So we moved in September, we moved out in January. So September to January over the lease.
So you're saying when you were absent, they had someone come in and spray paint your kitchen?
Yeah, she asked us to leave the house unlocked and let them come in and do it while we weren't there.
With your animals in the house?
Yes.
And it got paint all over your personal property?
Like they did, so the mold started in the kitchen and that's where they were trying to tackle it. So they had us remove everything from the cabinets. We thought that they were gonna paint with a brush, but they used a spray paint and they didn't like mask off anything. They didn't cover any of our belongings. They just went at it with the spray paint.
All right, and then what was the other thing you mentioned?
The company that came in to try to clean up the spray paint.
So she didn't ignore it. You said, hey, I've got mold, and then she did try to do some things to fix it.
Yes, but I don't think that they were the proper steps.
All right. Is there anything else you want me to know?
I think I've said everything.
All right, well, we'll come back to you. All right, Miss Butler has counterclaimed for carpet and refrigerator. Ms. Butler, first, what do you have to say in response to Ms. Marchand's claims regarding the security deposit and this mold damage?
First, they did not move out until February 5th, I believe. That's 3 weeks into the next month. They were only paid through January 19th. So that's the difference. And it says in the lease, I can take, unpaid rent
You
out of the
can.
deposit.
But you have to do it right. So, all right, so you had and I don't have this up. I should put it up here because of these things are.
You should know the house was completely redone before they moved in. The entire house was painted, ceilings, walls, everything was painted. I had new laminate floors put in and new carpet in the 2 bedrooms and the living room. The bathroom was completely redone with a new tub and shower. I think that was everything that was done
All right, well,
to the tune of almost $20,000.
well, and I'm familiar with this house. We've had a previous claim regarding this house.
No,
Was this Isabel's house?
this is Isabel's house.
All
The
right.
other one was on North Fisher Lake.
All right. Well, I'm familiar with this house for a different reason.
I know.
But we'll just leave that aside. All right. So the house had been redone, but obviously there was a mold issue. She shows this.
Not
property.
until they moved in.
There was mold when we moved in.
All right, well, stop. Same thing for you, Ms. Marshand. Only one person can speak at a time. So this is her turn.
My point is everything was fresh and clean, new paint, new carpet, new floors, new bathroom when they moved in.
All right, and that's fair enough, but if no one's living in there, when you start living in there, it's warm on the inside, it's cold on the outside, people are in there. You don't bring mold in like you bring bed bugs or cockroaches.
No.
Mold is an inherent issue with the dwelling.
They had a building across the road. It's an old garage. And I believe some of those things were stored in there. And that property basically had been abandoned for about 8-10 years. There's a garage there. And I believe they had some items, like the skateboard and helmet and
All
that
right, so
sort of
you
thing
don't
stored
believe-
there.
When they moved out, did you find mold? Because it would think if
No.
that child seat is in the bedroom, that everything in the bedroom would be moldy. The bedding, the carpeting, the
And I had
drapes.
proof that that was not true. The child's seat, when I talked to Jessa, the day she finally moved out, was in perfect condition. It was sitting there in the family room.
Say that again.
The car seat, the child's car seat, was in perfect condition when I saw it the day she moved out. I wouldn't put a child in that car seat, and I wouldn't expect her to. Not the way it looks now.
No, we
according
don't
to her
know if it's the
pictures.
same child seat, but that's what when I was looking at these pictures, when the claim was first filed, and then I was looking at it last week to prepare. It's like, well, where was this stuff? In a basement, in an attic? So
Yeah, that does
So-
not make sense.
So, all right, so the helmet, the jacket, the skateboard, and the child seat certainly were moldy. but you don't believe they were stored in the house.
No, not in that condition. Not in that condition. I think they were stored in the garage across the street. They told me, Devin told me that he had bought that property across the street and was fixing up the garage and was cleaning up the lot. Well, I'm sure he did clean up the lot because that was.
All right, but you seem to acknowledge there was some mold because you hired a company to come in and deal with it.
I didn't know for sure. And I thought, we aren't gonna take a chance. So I hired expert cleaning to come in.
Well, did you ever go in and inspect the house yourself?
Yes, I did. I really did not see any mold. I had wiped some stuff down myself to look at things, to see if, and when it's wet, it looks one way, and when it's dry, it looks another way. You know, how most things are, you know, like even this.
Yeah.
I didn't see anything major, but I said, let's get it all cleaned. So I hired expert cleaning to come in.
Is that the name of the company?
Yes,
Where are they from?
Kalamazoo. And they came out and they washed everything that was, took everything out of the cupboards. Because I was there watching them do it. They took everything out of the cupboards, washed the cupboards down with, I can't tell you the name of the stuff they were cleaning with, but it's to clean mold if there's any mold. And they washed all of that. And I watched the one guy, he was washing every bottle, box, everything. He was wiping them off that had been in the cupboard. Then they washed the walls and they washed the ceiling in the kitchen area. The entire room. And that had new laminate floors in, and they scrubbed that on their way out the door. Because I was out there checking on them to see what was going on.
All right.
Then there was a gentleman, another guy with a company, and he said he thought he saw some water build up on one of the windows outside. So he proceeded to seal that. And that was the $15.99, the bill for $15.99.
$1,599.
Yes.
Right now, she says they came in and spray painted everything.
Then she complained again. So I called expert cleaning and they said, okay, there's it's like a spray paint, but it's not really a paint. And it's for remediating mold and sealing everything. They came in and they sprayed the cupboards and everything. And she was right. He did not cover the food that he took out of the upper cupboard. He didn't cover that. So I called expert cleaning again and they said, we will take care of it. And they sent 2 ladies out and they scrubbed that kitchen from top to bottom and washed every cup and every bottle and every box that was in the cupboard. They were there 8 hours, 2 ladies working.
Right now, what about, this is the kitchen.
This is
She
the
says
kitchen.
there's mold just sitting in the middle of the bedroom.
Well, I can get to that in
All
just a second. And expert cleaning said, I'm sorry, we didn't get it done right. And they didn't charge me for that, which I really appreciated. So then we're still dealing with the mold. I asked expert cleaning if they had anyone that could review all of this, because they were still complaining about mold. And they said yes. And I contacted the Air Quality Corporation out of Lansing. Air Quality mold and moisture assessment on North Parkville Road. I have that report. It's in your paperwork.
Yes, let me refer to it.
And they came, and again, I made sure I was there to see what they were doing. We discussed everything. And he set up air sampling equipment in the bedroom where the adults were, the living room, the child's bedroom, the kitchen, the family room, and they set up one in the crawl space. There's an area that's been dug out and then cement blocks built, so the well pump and furnace are there. And he went through all of that, and the air quality results.
What exhibit are you referring to? I'm trying to get down to it.
I'm sorry. This is what it looks like, the first page. That's what it looks like. And then the results are supposed to be in here.
There it is.
And if you'll notice the results, your stuff. The results show normal environmental factors. They found completely normal event, bacteria, mold. The normal bacteria shows no human concerns. And you also see the only room that showed any extra particles were the bedroom where the adults slept. They called it the master bedroom in that report. And that was slightly elevated. But the final conclusion from him and the lab that he sent this stuff to, that there was no, there it is. It shows the different counts in the different areas. Let's see. But it shows counts in the dining room, outside, basement, which is that crawl space. Then the very conclusion.
I'm looking for their final conclusion.
Oh, I thought I put that in the front, but maybe it's in the back. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm actually going to interrupt and show this car on the road thing because it's only 41 seconds and it should be okay.
Daddy, can you say chase?
Chase.
Daddy, can you say road?
Road.
Daddy, can you say path?
Path.
Does the guy say car on the road?
Car on road.
It was worth it, right?
Page 6 of 6. Habitat found on decaying plant material and as plant pathogens. Effects, some allergenic properties reported, but general pose no health concerns to humans.
All right, and the date of this was in December of 23.
Yes.
So they moved in.
They moved in, I believe, September, October. I gotta look on the lease here. They moved in. Where's the date on that? Oh, it's under the car. They moved in October 17th. And if you look at the receipts and the carpet, in the stove and refrigerator, you'll see that was right around the 10th or something like that of October. Or just days before they moved in. So everything was new.
All right, so the carpeting and the stove, we're still dealing with this allergies, so this mold stuff. But
Yeah.
now, since they've moved out, have you had mold problems with any new tenants?
No, none at all. I'm not sure. I suspect what they called mold might have been overspray or something. You know, like a mist from when they painted the house. We even had new doors and everything, interior doors put in.
All right, obviously the pictures show that I didn't understand what I was looking at in this microbial mold report. So you actually had a company come out and do an
Yeah,
evaluation
they came from
of the
Lansing.
property.
They came from Lansing and they couldn't find anything wrong.
All right. All right. Now, let's talk. Now, I'm going to have you respond to those, Ms. Marshand, but she's indicated she had a company come out on 3 occasions and super scrub the place. She hired a company to come in and determine whether there was mold in there in December of 23, and they didn't find any. I'm also concerned that this, just a minute, this, when it's your turn, I'll ask you to respond to these, and that the car seat is all moldy, but there's not issues with other stuff in there. And there's been no issue with mold since you moved out. Now, she filed a counterclaim regarding the carpeting and the refrigerator. Let's start with the carpeting.
There's a hole in the center of the living room carpet. I want to say it was around $2,300 for all the carpet. And I'm only claiming $1,000 for the living room because that's the largest room.
Describe hole.
Oh, there's some pictures of it.
Yeah, I'm trying to, all right, here's new.
It's,
And
yeah.
here's, all right, it's torn.
It's torn and then there's some yarn pulled out, almost full length of the building. Of the room.
It looks like there's a dark stain. Is that a stain or is that just a shadow?
No, that's a stain. I had the cleaning company come out and shampoo all the carpets and they mopped the floors and everything. And that was the best they could do on that. There was an area about this big that was almost this color in the middle of the living room. It wasn't quite that dark, but almost. And there was also a spot in the bedroom that was like that. And they cleaned it. And yeah, you can see where the threads and stuff are pulled out.
Yes.
In different places. I've got a better picture on my phone. But
All right, let's talk about the refrigerator.
The refrigerator is all dented up. And the worst dent, of course, was on my cell phone picture and it didn't come out very well. But you can see some of the other dents in the refrigerator.
Does it still work?
Yes, it still works. Doesn't look very good, but it still works. You can, let's see. The stove and refrigerator were brand new. You have the bills for that. You can see the side of the refrigerator and the freezer door has a big dent in it. And the big door, where the refrigerator part is, that's got 2 large dents in it. And I took pictures with my cell phone and they didn't come out very well. But they're comparable or larger to what is on the freezer door.
So it was brand new.
Brand new. You have the
see it.
bills for that.
Yes. All right, now, why didn't you include those in your initial retention of her security deposit?
Because at that point, I was glad they were moving out. But if they wanna, you know,
All right, so once they sued you, you counterclaim.
well, yeah, for the damages, which
All
I
right.
did not claim, because I was glad they were moving out. Jessa was by herself and moving in with family was my understanding.
All right,
So
now
I
let's
didn't
talk
wanna
about,
I didn't want to be the ugly landlord.
how
also
much was
did-
the deposit?
Pardon?
How much was the deposit?
$950. And they were there 3 weeks beyond where their rent was paid.
So the rent was $950 per month, due on the 17th of each month.
Right. So
So January 17th would have been the last rent that they had paid,
right.
and they were there till February 4th.
5th or something like that, 4th or 5th.
That'd be
So
14 days,
approximately
which-
3 weeks was what I
that'd
figured.
be 19 days.
Okay.
950 by 31,
Also,
3065 per day.
in our counterclaim, it says reasonable attorney costs, and I did not get a copy of that included in this filing. I do have a copy of the bill.
All right, so there's a lot going on here, Miss Marshand. There's damage to refrigerator, damage to her carpeting. We were there for 19 days beyond when rent was paid. She is entitled to apply security deposit toward any unpaid rent, and other damage. She's supposed to give you a better explanation of what she's retaining it for, but she did return it. She decided not to sue you for the carpeting or the broken and dented refrigerator. Carpeting was obviously damaged. The refrigerator's dented, but it still works. And she went to great effort and expense to A, figure out the source of the mold, and B, figure out if there was mold. And this company says there is no undue amount of mold in the house. And she spent probably $2,000 or more trying to clean it.
Yeah, I spent $3,500 or $3,700 total. Also,
Just a minute. So you're looking at the Hayes report. We'll come back to you, Miss Marshand. What do you want me to know? Go ahead,
Me?
Miss Marshand. Yeah,
Sorry. I would like you to note on the Hayes report, it does say for each of the bedrooms that they are reading slightly higher or significantly higher than baseline.
well, I don't have an
They're
expert here to
highlighted.
tell me what it is.
And they did there, so there was one company as well that came in and did say that there was a massive mold issue, and that like they said that it was probably in the walls, and she didn't like that response. So then she went to someone else who told her a better answer that would tell her that she didn't have to spend as much money.
All right, so there was another company that did an analysis?
That was the first initial company that caused all the havoc.
they did the cleaning.
He came in
That was
and
the cleaning
said
company.
that there was mold in the walls and that the walls should probably be taken apart and everything should be fixed in that sense. And we never heard anything about that again because that company never came back out.
Can you tell me the
All right,
company
stop,
name?
yeah, so she talked about expert cleaning. Is this somebody other than them that came in and did an analysis?
Yes. So honestly, I don't know any of these company names. I've just was told that they were coming in to clean the house that we were living at. So these names are new to me, so that's kind of a little bit hard to navigate, but yeah, I'm trying to figure that out. The one that I do remember specifically is Bale Tech, and she doesn't have anything from Bale Tech in here, and they put like some weird mechanism in our house that like was supposed to filtrate the air, but I think it honestly made it worse.
I can explain that.
All right. Now, the air quality consultants that are in here, I don't know what these numbers mean. A living room,
Yeah, I don't either. I was just reading the ledger at the bottom.
well, and I don't know what I'm looking at. Significantly higher than baseline as to aspergillus and penicillium. I don't know what this means. There's no overall conclusion regarding the quality of the air. If I'm looking at some of these correctly, it says they're significantly higher than baseline for these allergens.
Correct.
Penicillin. They're telling you what it is, but that's not.
Yeah, red. The spore count is significantly higher than baseline count and probably indicates a source of contamination. There's lots of red in this report.
Yes.
Penicillin is mold
What page
though.
are we on?
There's a staple in it, page 3 of 6,
Yeah.
and then page 4 of 6
Mhm.
that indicates what the different things mean.
And you will see that the master bedroom is where 90% of the problem is.
Well, living room, it shows 890,
Right,
significantly higher than baseline. Master bedroom, 2600,
right.
significantly higher than baseline. Kids room, 290,
That was the cleanest room in the house.
significantly higher than baseline. Kitchen, 390, significantly higher than baseline.
Mhm.
Dining room, 210. I don't know what baseline is. Basement, 2300, 250. They're all significantly higher than baseline.
But I don't know what baseline is either.
Yes, so this report isn't helpful to me without having an expert, but it looks like they found mold higher than baseline in the dining room, basement, master bedroom, living room, kids room, and the kitchen. Now, to your credit, you spent a lot of money trying to remediate it.
Yes, trying
and-
to be responsible.
Yes, all right.
Man,
It was only that one compound or one.
Well, if we were in a real trial, not in small claims,
Right,
that report wouldn't be admissible without a foundation. There would be someone here to explain it.
Yeah.
It's admissible in small claims court without the big foundation, but I don't know what any of it means. It lists a number of organisms. The only ones that they show
basically are the penicillins.
kind of aspergillus, and I don't even know what that is. I don't know if that's.
It's a common organism we have in the environment.
And
That one
then,
I do know. I guess the overall point is I have tried to be responsible and respond to any of their complaints.
Well, you certainly have indicated there were multiple efforts to remediate this. All right,
Also, one other thing, don't mean to interrupt.
you keep interrupting.
I know.
We are in small claims court, not a regular court, but you keep saying stuff, talking over me and speaking as though we're talking around the kitchen table. I'll come back to you when it's
Okay.
your turn. All right,
One more thing.
you were miffed, for lack of a more appropriate term, that she didn't give you your whole security deposit back. Did you ever cash the check?
Absolutely not.
Here's my friend's question. Oh, okay, Donald. Cool. I just wanted to double check that you knew that you weren't in trouble. I just saw it come up and say, like, see the thing. Here's my friend's question. So Ross says Rachel's name instead of Emily's name. That was a big yawn, Vaughn. That was funny. And so it's weird for me that when Ross and Rachel have a daughter, they call her Emma. And then in the episode with the sister, Amy, she keeps saying Emily by accident, and it's like nothing happened. That is so weird for me. Also, if there's anyone who understands the mold spore counter thing they're doing, please raise your hand.
And she didn't send the security deposit notice that's supposed to tell you why she's retaining the deposit.
I would have
So
been a
that's
little more
what's,
understanding if
that's
I
what
would have gotten
starts.
the reasoning. Sorry.
All right, now, what concerned me when I was first looking at this stuff looks bad. But why didn't everything else look bad? Why didn't the couch look bad? Why don't the drapes look bad? Why don't the bedding in the child's room have this same sort of issue as opposed to just a child seat that's sitting there? So what's your response to that?
I do have proof of where I found everything and where it was in the house. As far as, I don't know why everything wouldn't be covered. I just want to know why my stuff is damaged that is. I don't really have an answer as to why not everything was covered. I can tell you that the windows in my daughter's bedroom also had mold on them. I found a dead bee in my bedroom on the windowsill that was completely encased in mold. Just random stuff would mold. Like anything that we pulled out for winter use that was put away in our bedroom, for the summer, we pulled out for winter to use. And that's when we discovered our coats were all moldy. We had to go buy all new winter coats. Hats, shoes, socks, just anything molded.
Well,
I had
obviously,
necklaces that molded.
the place looks great, the before pictures, and she indicated they spent tens of thousands of dollars to redo the place. Everything was brand new. Everything looks great. The carpet's new, the walls look nice, the doors are in molding, the ceilings, everything looks great. The kitchen looked good. This was a nice place. I could see probably why you were willing to rent it, but it's an old house and it may have some problems in the walls. I don't know. I don't know what that mold and mildew report tells us.
Might I also add that when we moved in, she said that there was prior mold in the house and they had it taken care of. And there was still some stuff on the cabinets and I addressed it and she said to clean it. There was also mice poop in the cabinets when we moved in and we were told to clean that as well. We lived with mice, setting mice traps the whole time we were there, and they told us to keep the mice and put them in the freezer so they could feed them to their hogs. And we did not do that.
Frozen Moses. All right. All right, now I'll give you a final say, and then Ms. Marshand, I'll give you the last word because you're the plaintiff. Ms. Butler, you had some other things you wanted to tell me?
Item number 17 in the lease said the landlord is not responsible for injuring tenants' personal property and encourages the tenant to procure a policy of renter's insurance to cover and insure tenants' personal property. And the bottom of that page is initial. And I go over every one of these with the people when they move in. Doesn't matter who it is. I go over every one of those things because I wanted to make a point that I do not want smoking in the house, you know, things like that. But, and this is just a standard lease.
Well, it is, but it's, you left some part of it out. Damage to tenant's property. Landlord will not be responsible for any damage to theft, loss, or destructions of tenant's property unless the damage is caused by landlord's negligence or fail to maintain the premises as required by the lease. There's something called a basic covenant of habitability where the
Yes,
property.
and you can see I did everything I could to ensure the house was clean and proper. And getting the air quality people was above and beyond what normally would happen.
Yes, and I don't know what their report tells me, whether there was a problem or whether there wasn't.
Well, the gentleman called me personally and said, there's really no problem in the house. We can't find anything other than normal environmental bacteria, mold, and things like that.
All right.
And as far as another company coming in, that Baytech or whatever, one of the guys that worked for Expert Cleaning had worked for Baytech, and he said, well, I got an air purifier. I'll bring it in and we'll just let it run for a while. That was that was why that was there, and it had the Baytech or whatever name on it, because it was the company he had sold. And then he went to work for Expert Cleaning. He's also the one that sprayed inside the cupboards and didn't cover any of the food. So they came out and cleaned again.
All right.
So we've had a clean house to start with. I've cleaned and cleaned, had people clean. We've had the air purifier running. We've had extra testing done. And the people that are there now have no problems whatsoever. Because I told them about this and asked them specifically if there was any problems, any place they needed anything done. They said no. And also I did not include the attorney's bill.
Yes. Now,
With the
you did
original.
include the refrigerator bill. The refrigerator's dented, but it works.
It still works, but it's dented, and you know how that looks to the next tenant. I just told him, I said, the guy that lived here had a raging temper and damaged things. There was some damage to the paneling in the family room also. I didn't even bother with that because I'm not going to remove it and have it painted. There were some other things that were nailed into the floor and the wall. We had to have that removed. But I attempted to please these people and keep them happy and healthy the best I could. Also, as far as the temper and stuff goes, it was bad enough that I was threatened a couple times. Normally I would turn and walk away, but the way Devin was raging, I was afraid to turn my back on him. And his dog came in and stood between us. And I told him, I said, your dog's looking at you. And then it was kind of like it broke the spell and he calmed down.
Well, he's not listed in here.
He's not listed in here, no. But he's on the lease.
Lease clause 17 says you're responsible for damage,
Right,
the tenant. And her counter to that is, in addition to that, I hired expert cleaning services in the fall of 2023. I hired the air quality people to come in.
Yeah.
In December of 2023. She had work done on the HVAC system in.
yeah. Just because I was told by the furnace fella. They said it didn't run, so I had the furnace guy come out and he said there was one part, but he said we always change filters and things like that. And there were extra filters for Devin. Excuse me.
All right, so the
To
property,
change filters in the furnace.
all right. Ms. Marshand, anything else you want to say?
The Bail Tech company was actually a separate company. I don't know what she was saying, that he had something that he was selling something, but that was, they came out with Bail Tech trucks. So I don't know, that was a little confusing.
What did
And I
they
think I
do?
did also, what?
What did they
That
do?
was, I'm pretty sure that was the guy that came out and said that the walls needed to be removed and that they gave her a certain price and she didn't like that price, and that they gave her a second option that was cheaper and less efficient to actually get anything. He actually did explain that to us. He was like, I'm not supposed to say this, but this is the less efficient option that they're taking to get this done. And I was like, wow, that makes me feel a lot better. And I would like to also add the items that she does not think that were stored in our house. I do have pictures of every time that I found those. The skateboard molded to the carpet in our bedroom. That's how I found it.
All right, anything else?
From either one of us?
I gave you your last word. This is her
Okay.
last word.
That's what I thought.
Other than I just didn't understand why I couldn't get a proper refund of my deposit or a proper notice.
Well,
of why
she had legitimate reason to retain your refund. She didn't
as
do
far
it
as
right.
the and as well as the staying past not paying, I have a witness as well that was there, that she said she stormed out and said Merry Christmas and said that we were good, and she said that we didn't have to pay, because I argued with her about having to deal with all this headache, and it's just not something that someone should have to go through in a living situation. I think that I should sign a lease and be able to live there comfortably like I am now, and not have to worry about my living situation.
Well, the fact is that you stayed beyond the rental period. And those are things that she can apply the deposit to. Under the Landlord Tenant Relationship Act, You're
I do
supposed
understand.
to,
Yeah, I have a witness that, heard her agree to saying that
well,
that
the
was
witness
okay.
isn't, the witness isn't here. This
She
is a
actually is in
trial.
with me.
Oh, all right. Well, bring that person into the screen.
She said that we were good to not pay.
Hello,
Good afternoon. Why don't you trade seats? What's your name?
Shirley Jordan.
Ms. Jordan, will you please raise your right hand? You swear or affirm any testimony you're about to give in this matter will be true to the best of your knowledge and belief.
Yes,
Ms. Marshand says you were there during the conversation between Ms. Butler and Ms. Marshand at the time they were moving out. What do you know about that?
It was a time that we were having an issue.
at the time they were having the issue and Sharon was there.
All right, well, what do you know about it?
I heard her say to Jess that, okay, you won't have to worry about it. We'll take it up in January.
Well, just a minute. Jenna, don't tell her what to say.
I'm not, sorry, I was just telling her it was the wrong month.
Well, that's not up to you. She's the witness and she's under oath, and so I'm stuck with whatever she tells me. What else do you know, Miss Jordan?
That's all I heard when I was there, because Sharon was getting ready to go out of the house.
All right. Thank you. You're good to go.
Thank you.
All right. Let's see if we can come up with some sort of an answer here. The counterclaim is for $1,000 for the carpet, which is a portion of the $3,300 total cost, and $738 for the refrigerator, which was only dented. I don't know how to assess that cost. The carpeting, I'm comfortable with. The refrigerator, how much is a dented refrigerator? I don't know. Let's say $200, $1,200. All right, now, she kept part of your $950 deposit. They claim that $700 was for rental debt. That's not accurate. It was 14 days in January and 5 days in February. So that's 19 days. Rent is $950 per month. $15 or 14 plus 5 is 19 days times 30 or $950. And it depends on whether we use 30 or 31 days, but I'll use 31. Divided by 31 is $30.65 a day, give or take, times 19 days is $582.25. That's how much was unpaid rent, which can legitimately be taken out of the security deposit.
I do actually,
I didn't ask you a question. We're done taking testimony, so I'm just making a ruling. Although she didn't do it right, So arguably, there's a claim for treble damages regarding the security deposit, but it wasn't requested or pled. Then we've got the defendant's or the plaintiff's claims for these properties, which were damaged due to mold, which I believe they were. But she wants brand new replacement property for stuff that's used. This is an old used skateboard. She did provide pretty good documentation of each item. The child seat, $299, the tech hoodie, $119.95, the helmet, $79, and the skateboard, $136.99, and the air purifier or I'm not sure what that thing is, $329.99. The total of those was $895.51. So there's $1,000 in the counterclaim. I'm going to allow $200 for the dented refrigerator and $582.25 for rent. So let's add that up. 1,000 plus 200 plus 582.25 plus 1,782.25. The plaintiff is requesting the return of her security deposit. She gets $250. So the deposit was $950. The plaintiff was entitled to retain $582.25. Which leaves $367.75. And she paid $250. So the plaintiff is entitled to an additional $117.75 from the deposit. The items that she claimed were $895.51. Equals $1,013.26. However, the plaintiff has already recovered the $582 of unpaid rent from keeping the security deposit. So I'm allowing $1,000 for the carpeting and $200 for the dented refrigerator. The security deposit was applied to the unpaid rent, so you've already covered $582.25. You overtook $117.75, and I gave the plaintiff everything she asked for regarding the moldy property. And her court there were other things that were not included, like your attorney fees, whether there was an issue of treble damages, the other property the defendant lost. You had additional expense in trying to remediate this. Ms. Marshand, I don't disbelieve you. I don't think you wove this out of whole cloth. I think there's a mold problem with this house. Ms. Butler attempted to do something about it at considerable expense. I think they know there's a mold problem at this house. I don't know why there would be a mold problem when you were there and there's not a mold problem when the new people are there. I don't know. But this comes out almost as a wash. I find
You have the attorney's bill, if that helps.
no, it doesn't, because I'm not ordering it.
Okay.
Cost. Someone who's not here is the co-tenant, Devin, who I think caused the majority of this damage. But Devin Russell, the defendant counterclaimed for $1,700, give or take. I allowed $1,000 for the damaged carpet, $200 for the refrigerator, which is $1,200. For the plaintiff, I allowed $117.75 of additional deposit that she did not recover. And I allowed her damages that she claimed for the mold of $895.51 plus her court costs. So $1,096.93 is what I would give to Ms. Marshand, and I would give $1,200 to Ms. Butler. So we subtract 1,200 minus 1,096.93 equals $130.07. I find for the counter defendant the amount of 103.07. Ms. Marshand, you started the action. She filed a counterclaim. I discounted both sides' requests, although I gave you everything you asked for regarding the mold. But I didn't award treble damages regarding the security deposit. Who did your pleadings? One of the attorneys in Vicksburg?
Yes. Yeah, Lauren.
Yes, and they had represented you in the past, which was helpful. And the lease is good, but you need to make sure you have a better understanding of your obligations under the Landlord Tenant Relationship Act.
Okay.
Ms. Marshand, you owe Ms. Butler $107.03, and you get none. It almost came out as an exact wash, but not quite. So I'm going to do a judgment for the counter defendant. I won't have time to do it. We'll send it to you each in the mail. For the counter defendant, the amount of 103.07. All right, this record is completed. Thank you both. All right, you're good to go. We'll send.
Okay, so that was a good one. I like how he dealt with it. I want to show you an old stream of mine, which isn't actually that old. It's 2 months ago, but it was like one of my third or fourth streams where I showed our mold situation. I'm going to I might hide myself. I don't know. I might get frustrated with myself if I'm on screen at the same time. But here's some Vicky McCception. Check what you're seeing. We are two very just me. But there is almost zero chance that something would be this bad. Okay, I just quickly want to check what you're seeing. Yeah, that's good. How do I go full screen again? This is what I love about him too. He's like, oh yeah, I know your parents. You should be doing better than this. This is when I was still figuring out StreamYard. All right. So, does that even show any better? I don't think it does. Whoa, there we go. Hi, Danielle. Okay, so I read that. Nope, this is not working. I'm actually just going to read it normal, Vicky. Hi, Danielle. I'd like to inform you that Vicky and I discovered a huge mold outbreak in our apartment last night. In the master bedroom, there is mold on the wall behind our bed, on our headboard, in and around our window frame, on the top edges of the skirting boards, on about 5 pairs of Vicky's shoes in the bottom of our cupboard, and even in the cup holding our toothpaste and toothbrushes. In the spare room, there is mold on the wall behind the bed, on our headboard, on all of our pillows, inside the pillow covers, on a lampshade, on a bag, and all over our wooden chair. In the lounge, there is now mold growing on the damp patch on our ceiling, which they had confirmed 1,000,000 times had been fixed. Has mold been a problem in our flat before? And then I show the pictures. So that's the bedroom window. And I think we'd lived there a month. That is a burglar bar. I don't know if you guys have them, but I think they're pretty self-explanatory. They keep burglars out. And it's all growing in the windows. Look at that. And this was literally like we had barely even lived there for a while. And this was our headboard. Our bed was here. It was absolutely spotless besides this part that as we pulled things, it just showed up. So when this happened, look at that. That was behind our freaking heads. Like, we had to go to the doctors, get it out of our systems. Like, we had moved in so shortly before this that there were still boxes. Like, I'm probably saying the exact same things as I said that time. Inside the pillows. In the freaking pillows. So they replied to say they can't get the pictures. We never had a problem with mildew or mold in any of our units. The tenant before you, Tate, never had a dampness issue neither. When we did inspections, there wasn't a spot of mold or mildew anywhere. The only problem was the dampness in the living room ceiling. You say you noticed a huge mold outbreak last night. Have you been away for a while? Keep in mind, we had moved in not that long before, and we actually got hold of Tate, and Tate said, oh, yeah, it has been a problem. And they said they were going to fix it, and they didn't fix it. So basically, what landed up happening was, we then landed up speaking to the old tenant, and the old tenant was like, yeah, the apartment above had a pipe burst, and it had gone onto the ceiling. It had come through the ceiling, and that caused a massive dampness problem in the ceiling, and there was mold, and they didn't fix it. It reached the point where we got the housing, Department of Housing, basically, They came out and they said that the place was uninhabitable for humans. It was built wrong. It wasn't us. It wasn't about it being badly looked after. It was the fact that they didn't put windows and ventilation where they were supposed to. And the agent that had been renting the place to us literally fought it like until that point. And then she was there when Vaughan was there with the housing inspector, and then was like, oh, okay. I see what you're saying now. But she had been fighting it tooth and nail. I think we carry on a little bit with Judge Middleton. I just want to see if the small claims one is. Just want to see if it's like a story one or if it's like short ones. Okay. I'm going to need to share my screen again. Just give me 1 minute. Oh, there's a cat back there.
Apologize, sorry about that. I had to shut the live feed off so I could see pictures of Jordan. Jordan's baby. She's beautiful. Anyway, Jordan is going to be coming back to work here shortly after being off on maternity leave, and I'm happy to have her back. Anyway, it looks like we've got lots of customers in the waiting room. I'm going to bring them all in.
Ah,
I don't know. Grand Rental. You got a radio going or something. Amber, is that there?
No. It's on my end.
All right. Who is iPhone?
Tabitha Schaer.
All right. Turn your radio off if you would. Thank you.
can people just stop moving around so I can find us a spot? So Donald, you're saying it's better for us to get an aircon than a bunch of dehumidifiers? I mean, that would work out beautifully because it gets.
All right, we're going to call our small claims docket to order. First matter is True Value Rental, Grand True Value Rental versus IAC. Amber Linton is here, and I've got a dismissal on that. Did they pay this?
Yes, they did. Yes, Your Honor.
I've signed the dismissal. That's the only case you had today, isn't it?
I had one with Rachel, what is it, Gambry?
I don't see it on today's docket. What's the
Okay.
defendant's name?
Rachel Gambrell, Gambrel.
Oh, Gambrell. All right, let me look. We don't have service, so they kicked it out to July 30th to see if he gets service.
Okay.
So that one's not on for today. So you're all set. Thanks.
All right, thank you.
All right, Ms. Moore, would you unmute your microphone? This case is Aaron's Sales and Lease versus Ava Moore. It's an old case, 2017, 17415 SC. Claim entered the amount of $825 in damages plus costs for a total of $947.43. Eva Moore is here. Ms. Moore, would you unmute your microphone?
Is that better?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry.
And also Rogelio Segundo is here from Aaron's. He probably doesn't know anything about this.
There should be two different cases. There's this one and another one.
The only one that I have before me is, oh, there's another one, 211302.
Yeah.
All right. And that was a claim for $6,499. Let's talk about the old case first. Ms. Moore, would you please raise your right hand? You swear or affirm any testimony you're about to give in this matter will be true to the best of your knowledge and belief?
Yes.
All right. This matter entered about 7 years ago. And apparently recently you're trying to work on your credit and you wanted to get a satisfaction of judgment indicating that this debt had been paid, but you said you couldn't get anybody at Aaron's that knew anything about it. What can you tell us about this?
When I went to court with that lady, we didn't come in front of you. She did it off to the side. It was, I honestly do not remember her name anymore. We talked about it and I gave them so much money a week until that was paid off.
Well, all right. We did actually have a hearing back in that day. Well, let me see.
We didn't come in front of you though.
Okay, there was a
We did it off
discovery.
to the
Discovery. So have you paid that debt in full?
Yes, it was paid off a long time ago. Because I went in to rent a refrigerator and I made payments on the refrigerator and that one at the same time.
It was probably Susie. Probably Susie. All right. Rogelio, do you have even any information regarding this old 2017 case?
Yeah, I do remember we had retyped it, and then at one moment she tried returning the items. We refused to return. When we refiled against her,
No.
No. So this was on the refrigerator. The second time.
No,
All right. Well, no, just a minute. Just a minute, Miss Moore. You be quiet. I'll give you an opportunity to speak. We're not sitting at the kitchen table. We're in a courtroom. Now, there are two separate cases. The 2017 case
I'm only aware of the
has to do with a power chase bed. And Walter Wardell was there at the time. probably after that, it was probably Susie Keith that attempted to collect on this. So regarding this power bed, Rogelio, do you have any information regarding that?
All I know is she spoke with my GM and my GM came to an understanding. She ended up making a big cash payment, and then he said he wanted it just to be done with it. So as far as the new one,
All right, well, let's
that
take
one's
care of
been
the old
settled.
one. Let's take it, hold on, we'll do the old one first. All right, I will do a satisfaction of judgment, saying that there was a satisfaction by judge after a hearing. That takes care of the old case regarding the Chase electric bed. Now, the new case is the one you apparently have some knowledge on. Rogelio, I might as well ask you to swear as well. Will you raise your right hand? You swear or affirm any testimony you're about to give here will be best true to the best of your knowledge and belief.
I do.
Now, this was a claim in 2021 for $6,499 plus costs. The plaintiff is here, represented by Rogelio Segundo. The defendant has asked for a satisfaction of judgment. She is under oath. Ms. Moore, we took care of the 2017 case. They're apparently satisfied and they want it to be done with. This one is another issue. So is it your contention that you've paid this claim in full?
Yes, I made a deal with them and paid it off.
Or did you get any sort of receipts?
Yes, but I don't know where it's at.
And why are you seeking a satisfaction of judgment now?
Because I'm trying to get it taken care of. I've got 10 people living in a 3-bedroom trailer. I need to buy a bigger house. So I went in, I talked to them.
All right, Mr. Segundo, what do you know about this one?
She came in, she made a deal with my GM. I was off that day, but he told me briefly. He gave her ownership papers, the receipt. I think most of it was done over phone, and then she ended up coming in and grabbing the paperwork. As far as I know, we're satisfied with the payment she made. We don't seek to go any further than this.
Very good. I will also have a satisfaction by a judge. Miss Moore, you gotta be working on some other credit stuff. You need to keep track of this kind of thing. If they gave you some sort of a receipt that said paid in full or something, you need to hold on to that. So I'm gonna send you 2 orders called a certificate of satisfied judgment. And don't lose these because you may be called upon to provide them.
I'm sorry. It was in my car, and with the kids getting in and out, I got 5 grandbabies, and they were getting in and out of the car, and it got lost.
Okay. Are you still at Lot 2, Shipshawana?
Yes.
Okay, I'll send those to you at that address. You're good to go. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Rogelio, thank you for your help. It was helpful to have you here, Mr. Segundo. So now we've got simply Aaron's cases. We do have at least somebody here. Tabitha Schaer. Ms. Schaefer, could you join us?
Yes.
Laura, I'm out of register of actions. All right, I can't see you.
Okay. It's
Very
on
good.
now.
This is file number 24789SC. And this is a claim, thank you, by Aaron's for $2,935.10. Ms. Schaefer, I'm going to ask you if you'd please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm any testimony you're about to give here will be true to the best of your knowledge and belief?
Yes.
It looks like you're at the hairdresser's. Are you getting a haircut right now?
Yes, forgot about this appointment.
All right, well, this isn't ideal. That's a new one. I hadn't had many in the air chair. But this is a claim for $2,935.10. You're here, which is better than not being here. It's not ideal. Rogelio Segundo is here on behalf of Aaron's. What's your position? This was a mattress, which is as a course of business, you don't return. The pleading says mattress was very messy, not returnable. Customer is now refusing to talk to us or make a payment arrangement. Is that your position, Mr. Segundo?
Yeah, but I did get a paper from the courthouse saying that she was seeking to do an arrangement of $50. She did
Yes.
return the box springs and the frame, so all that she has right now is the mattress. The arrangement takes care of it. I think it was like $1,424 that was left on it. But if we do $49.99 for 2 years, it pays it off at $1,274. So we're okay with that.
All right. All right, well, how much is the debt?
Without the box springs and all the other stuff, comes out to $1,424.
All right, 1,424 plus $83.50 in costs.
Is this with the payments I've already made towards it though?
Well,
Yeah,
we'll get to that. We'll get to that in a minute.
Okay.
1,424 plus 83.50 is 1,507.50. Now, she's made some payments already.
Yeah, so the original cost for to pay it off early in 120 days, same as cash, with all the stuff added to it was $2,111 with 96 cents. Full term payout was $3,815 with 52 cents.
All right, well, you gave me 1424. That's the figure after she's already made several payments.
Shit, there you go. Yeah, because in total she's paid $1,319 with 94 cents into it. Oh no, wait, my bad. That was the payout amount at that time. Before 120 days, same as cash. Right now, she's paid $440 with 21 cents into it. She's paid 4 full payments into it. This was before the return.
Well, you get so used to defaults that you don't have your ducks in a row when it comes time to presenting the evidence. You're the plaintiff, and so you have the burden of proving beyond a preponderance that she owes the money. You're just throwing all these numbers out at random, and I'm having trouble understanding how you come up with $1,424.
So, like, okay, so, give me 1 second. So if you look at the first page in the lease agreement, it actually breaks down the cost per each item before renting and leasing fees. After renting and leasing fees, after 4 months, the price goes up to include those. But if you were looking to just cash buy, it'd be $1,478.99. Now, all those items, monthly rate comes out of each item. So my boss did do a quote. When we deducted all the items off of it, it came out to $1,424. But he was able to reduce the price because we were looking to do the arrangement she had set up. So the total cost of ownership right now would only be $1,271.76.
So that's the figure, 1,271.
Yes, and 76 cents. And we're satisfied with that.
All right. Are you satisfied with that, Ms. Schaefer?
I wanted them to pick the bed up because when they came to pick it up, yes, there was a stain on it, but they've been very unprofessional with me. They keep calling me, and I've talked to them multiple times, and I tried explaining to them that I couldn't pay the full monthly payment because I was going on maternity leave, so I had no income. And they seem to not care about it. They just kept on calling me.
Well, they don't, as a rule, accept mattresses back. And I think it's clear in the rental that they don't take a mattress. They will take a box spring, perhaps, and a frame, but not the mattress. So the box spring has been returned. The mattress is still in your possession.
Yes, because they were going to take it, but then they said they weren't taking it.
Well, as a rule, I think the contract says they don't take mattresses as a return. But will you accept the figure of $1,271.76 payable at $50 per month?
Is that because my paper shows, I guess I'm very confused as well with the numbers on the papers because I feel like I've just paid more than that. Because when I look up just the mattress, it shows me around that much. So then you'd minus
well,
what I
you're
paid on
doing
it.
this sitting in a chair at a beauty salon without any paperwork in front of you. He's not real clear on what's what. And you're like, well, I didn't think I owed that much. You sent in an answer. So let me see if I can sort this out.
If you'd like to see where the money comes from and where it's going towards, the cash price on it is $704.38. Full term payout over 24 months, $50 each month, comes up to $1,271.76. It's easier to explain with the paperwork in front of you. We just got a letter like a week ago saying that she wanted to come to an agreement. My GM printed this out. I did send her a text message to go over the numbers with her. We were trying to meet her halfway on this. I mean, we've deducted close to 200 off of it, of where the early payout option is right now. If she wants more information on it, all she's got to do is call us or stop by the store. I can forward this to the courthouse, and then maybe she can receive it there. It's just up to her.
All right. Well, Ms. Schaefer, the original contract was for a twin full queen frame, $139.99. A mattress encasement, which is like a mattress bag, $69.99. 9 queen foundation, $422. Those items have probably been returned. So what was left was $1,000. $478 for the mattress. And then under the contract, you were to pay $149 a month, and the total cost to own will be $3,815.52. over 24 months. So the mattress has been returned, excuse me, the box spring has been returned, the frame has been returned. I don't know about this mattress bag. And all you have is the mattress itself. And so after they entered into this agreement, they agree that they will accept $1,271.76 for unpaid rent on the other items, unpaid rent on the mattress, and you keep the mattress. And that you pay at $50 per month. We would start August 1st. So is that acceptable to you?
Yeah.
All right, 1,271.76 plus $83.50 for costs. That's the filing fee and the service fee. $1,355.26. I'll have the clerk clean this up. Installments of $50 per month starting August 1st. Is that acceptable?
Yes.
Are you still on Main Street in Burr Oak?
Yeah.
All right, do you have any questions?
Nope.
All right. Well, you can go back and get your hair completed. We'll send you a copy of this order. You make the payments at the store. If you have any questions, you can always stop in the store and go over it with them.
Okay,
All
thank
right.
you.
First, she had her stereo blasting, I guess, at the hair place. I also have on here iPhone 2. Who's there? Not sure who that is.
So I'm kind of confused. Do you rent the bed and then you give the bed back? Or is it like rent to own? Because renting a bed is interesting. I'd probably rather get it on like Facebook. Marketplace.
Can you hear me? This is Scott Moore.
All right, Mr. Moore, I'll be with you in just a minute. Would you take your hat off, please? Who's there with you?
My mother.
Hello, Colleen.
Hi, Jeff. How you doing?
Good. All right, give me just a minute, Mr. Moore.
No problem.
I'm seeing a deja vu of your dad. You probably get that a lot.
Yes, sir, I do.
All right. Colette. All right. Let me finish that last one. Defendant in chair at beauty salon. Colette. All right. Aaron's Sales and Lease versus Scott Moore. Mr. Moore is at his home. Rogelio Segundo is here from Aaron's Sales and Lease. Mr. Moore, I'm going to ask you if you'd raise your right hand. Mr. Segundo is already sworn in. You swear or affirm any testimony you're about to give here will be true to the best of your knowledge and belief?
Yes, sir.
Okay. This is small claims court. The rules are different. They're more relaxed. Neither side is allowed to have an attorney in small claims court. The claim is limited to $7,000. There's no formal record being made of the process, and there is no appeal from small claims court. Any decision made here is final. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
And are you willing to proceed at this point?
Yes, sir.
All right, this is a claim for $1,451. Let me look at the actual case.
Just out there.
This was an e-bike. And they had asked you to come in and make payments, and they were gonna work on something to help you with this, and apparently, according to you, the bike was stolen.
Yep, I was.
So you don't even have it, but yet they don't have it either, and you still owe for it. They
Exactly.
claim that you owe $1,451. What's your response?
Yeah, sir, dealt with Aaron several times. Like I said, I was making payments, until the bike was stolen. You know, previous to that, I was always there making my payments on time with anything I've ever bought. I've bought stuff and paid it off early.
Well, they seem to indicate that.
You know, so
where was it stolen from?
my house, my garage, actually.
Right on North Main Street there?
Yes, sir.
That's kind of spooky.
And that, yeah. I don't want to use, but you knew that.
I left for church and.
My mom left for church and and left the garage door open and gone.
All right. Well, the problem is you rented it and you lost it. And so you still owe on the debt. I assume you didn't have any sort of theft insurance or anything. Mr. Segundo, what else can you tell us about this?
That's pretty much it. He always maintained conversations with us. He let us know that he'd be able to make a payment. And then we'd promise the account for it so we wouldn't be overcalling him. But after we told him that we could help him out, retype the account, lower it to cost, he just didn't respond to us. He made an arrangement with my general manager for $50, retype, lower his payments. And we haven't heard from him since last payment, according to the paperwork, was in March. He paid up to March 1st. And then that was it.
Just a sec. So will you accept $50 a month?
Yeah.
Just a minute. Just a minute. Mr. Segundo, will your GM accept $50 per month?
Yeah, he'd accept it.
Yeah.
What do you say, Mr. Moore?
Yeah, I'm hardly working now, but I if that's what you guys want from me, I guess I don't have a choice.
Well, you got their bike stolen and you had a contract and you're stuck with it. So
Right.
$50 a month, I'm sure is less than you were paying. The total amount is $1,451, $63.50 in cost and $41.27 in the filing fee. Total is $1,555.77. That's gonna take a lot of months at $50 per month. Where are you working, Mr. Moore?
I still do my own auto detailing thing that I have for the last 10 years. It's just ever since COVID, it's taken a huge impact. And
Well, and you use that e-bike to get around town. I remember seeing you on it. But the bottom line is, it wasn't their fault. It got stolen. It was yours. We're gonna start August 1st. I'm gonna ask your mom this. Did you ever try to make a claim with your homeowner's insurance?
Well, I have $1,000 deductible, so it didn't really seem worth.
Yeah, you're probably right. They would just go up. All right, Mr. Moore, $1,555.77 payable at $50 per month, starting August 1st.
okay, so
this goes under the category of paying for a dead horse, but it was their horse and it's no longer there. Did you make a report to Three Rivers PD?
Yes, I did.
Maybe it'll turn up. All right, I'm sorry for the way it is. And to your mom, I say, hello, nice to hear from you.
Same here.
And, Mr. Moore, your, $50 a month, just pay it at the store.
Okay,
His mother was one of my classmates. But having it stolen is not a defense to the fact that you owe the debt. I'll take him at his word that it was stolen. Our next matter is Aaron Sales and Lease versus Brooke Eberly. Miss Eberly is not here, which is not a surprise. She did not show up this morning on a case that involves $16,000. She also owes the court on several different matters. Last we knew, she did live at Ash Road. I believe that's where she was served. This is a claim for $4,240 for, I think it was an Xbox or something. Let me see if I remember what this one was about.
It was for a washer and dryer.
Oh, washer and dryer, yes. That was an Xbox was another one. Washer and dryer, I've said this before, is probably makes the most sense on a rent-to-own contract. But these would be quite expensive, $1,279 for the dryer and $1,253 for the washer. It was a new account. I got the impression she made very few payments. Is that correct?
I believe it was just the initial payment, and then after that, wouldn't return phone calls. Some guy who lives at the home said that we can go pick him up, but when we went out there, they let their dogs out, and every time we go out there, their dogs are running around, and we aren't able to actually talk to them. So that's just been the situation since then.
So in my mind, this is borderline fraud. She rents a washer and a dryer, makes one payment, doesn't make any other payments, still has the washer and the dryer, won't accept service, doesn't show up for the hearing. But she has other, so she's gonna have this washer and dryer and she's gonna have a judgment against her, which it's unlikely that you'll ever recover any money on it. This is fail to return rented property and or false pretenses, but I'm not the prosecutor anymore. And the police don't really like doing these, but this one looks to me like there could be more to it. Anyway, defendant fails to appear. Default. $4,458.47. Borderline fraud. That is a non-appearance of default. All right, we have one more. Aaron Sales and Lease versus Penny Overton. This is the Xbox, $1,406.32. Has anything been paid on this? Mr. Segundo?
Yes.
It sounds like the thing was full of bugs and not good. And, this is the amount due on this contract.
Correct. So, yeah, they brought it into the store. We immediately refused it. They put it in our foyer. It then drove off. I told one of my crew members put it in like 2 or 3 trash bags, and we ran it out to their house, put it on their porch, and they called me the next day. They made one payment after that, and then they didn't pay again after that, and that's when we started filing against them. But since I've sent this paperwork in, they have not made another payment towards the account.
All right. Default. $1,406.32, 6350, 146982 by default. I'm afraid to ask, what kind of bugs were in the?
Roaches, like big roaches. One fell out, and I immediately told him to put it back in his hands and walk out. Walked him to the door, and as they were pulling out, one of them jumped out the car and threw it on our foyer. So that's why we immediately took it right back to them.
Well, they aren't here. They now are the proud owner of it, but they owe $1,469.82. Those are the two choices, bed bugs or roaches, maybe other choices, but I find for the plaintiff by default. I think that's every case we had to deal with today, including our old satisfaction cases. One case was dismissed. Any other transactions we need to deal with, Mr. Segundo?
Not that I have.
All right, very good. I'll see you next time.
All right. You have a good day.
Thank you. No two cases are exactly alike, and every day is different than every other day. We have a stolen e-bike, an Xbox full of cockroaches, a mattress from the beauty salon, and we'll call it a day.
Okay, I think it is also time for me to call it a day, unless there is a very short one. No, actually, I'm going to call it a day. Wow, my hair is wild. I love his daily conclusion, and I also love his when he says good morning to everyone every day and then tells us like what's going to happen for the day. Like, good morning, today we have Sam who's coming in, who has some mental health challenges. He thought he was part of the CIA. Apparently they're hiring. And then later we'll be going to this and this. It's like the absolute best thing. When will we know about the field trip? Well, here's the problem. He did not give a date for when the next one will be. So unfortunately, it's going to be like an ear to the ground kind of situation. But what I do in general is I try to keep on top of the videos as they happen. So I will grab the link and put it in ChatGPT and then get the names of everyone who they talk about, so that I can see like, oh, okay, they spoke about the Phillips in this video, and then the Phillips appear here again, and the Phillips appear here again. That's the easiest way for me to keep tabs. So we will be looking out for Pa and Roberts. Those are the two names. And if you see something and you don't see me talking about it, please feel free to reach out. You can even just comment on anything and say, Judge Middleton had an update. Cass, thank you for being here. MKE1121, unfortunately, I'm just wrapping up for the day. MacD, I'm glad you found us as well. And yeah, Judge Middleton is a blast to watch. So I'm glad that other people here enjoy him as much. Sometimes I do have to go on 1.5 speed, though, I will be honest. Sometimes his court feed does feel a little bit like slow, but it's perfect for a Friday. All right. Wait, one thing before I go. Oh, I missed it during the scrolly thing. Quick, someone subscribe and we can watch it go up. No, I'm joking. I didn't mean that in like a, please like, I just meant like, I wanted you guys to see how it ticks because it's cool. It's cat food time. I'm removing because Frank has to take his tablet. I don't think he's going to be that happy. Do all the YouTube things. Yeah. I just want to watch a tick one. Lil Miss, I am saying goodnight and you can't hear me saying it. It is, but there we go. You see, it's so cool. I love it when it does that. And not just because it's like one extra. I mean, like, I don't care if it goes down. I think it's such a cool animation they made. But I love it when he's like, oh, yeah, I know your mom who went to school with me or whatever situation. Wait a minute. Oh, it ticked again. I have a premiere in 30 minutes from that random court I told you guys had a soft sit the other day. It was me, Broken Baker. My YouTube keeps unsubscribing me from you and Brandy, and I have no idea why. And I have so many court, like my subscriptions list is like 90% random court streams that sometimes have interesting stuff. And so I forget like which ones I actually want to watch. If the landlord doesn't issue receipts and does cash only, they should not be, Phoebe shouting, they should not be allowed to use state resources to collect back rent. They are tax dodging. If the landlord doesn't issue receipts and does cash only. Hey, that's a very good point. That is a very, very good point. Because they are supposed to claim that as additional income. I lost 150 subs in 3 days last week. I don't know why, and it's literally yours and Brandy's always. There might be others that I haven't watched in a long time, like vlogs and that sort of thing. But I noticed the other day, again, that I wasn't subscribed to Brandy, and I can't understand it. Like, I'll randomly remember and be like, is she off? Is she on holiday? What is happening? And then see that I'm unsubscribed. I've been unsubbed to yours too. I don't know why. I don't know why it does it. It's so frustrating. Anyway, now it's not that long till the premiere as well. So I have timed this pretty well. I will see you guys over there. It might take a couple of minutes to portal, but it should work unless YouTube does the thing again where it just breaks. But I will see you guys soon. And I hope you enjoy this really sweet judge as much as I do. The one that's in the premiere. Have a good Friday. Bye.